So welcome. We had studied up to page 27 in the previous session. So we will continue from page 28. The existence of a chemical factory is self-evident by the existence of synthetic chemicals. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of naturally occurring chemicals. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the DNA. So I think three things we can sort of break down. So, you look at any chemical. So, for example, this is, your regular hand wash kind of thing. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Disinfectant. It doesn't have a label. Anyway, now when you see this bottle packaged like this, one thing you know already. It is obvious. It is self-evident. It doesn't require further evidence that there is a factory which has produced this. You don't know the name of the factory. You don't know where it is located, who owns it, how many people were. वो कुछ नहीं मालूम. We don't know any of that. But this much we can now know for certain that there is a factory which makes that. Correct? You look at, you sometimes get medicines. So there is a strip with the pills. You just look at that, it becomes obvious that there is a factory which produces that, packages that, and provides it to the market. Yes, I hope you agree with me. Not a very difficult thing to agree to. Now, what Master is saying is that now if you look at naturally occurring chemicals, what are naturally occurring chemicals? Say, for example, the herbs, the vegetables and, all the biochemical things that a lot of it goes into our food, the fruits and the flowers and the vegetables, the herbs, and so on. The existence of God is self-evident. So you look at them and you know automatically that there is some creator who has created them. They have originated from somewhere. Now, then Master gives an even more powerful example. He says the existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the DNA. I hope you all know what the DNA is. These are the molecules where our entire, the blueprint of the entire body is provided. You understand blueprint? What will be your skin color, what will be your height, what will be your body mass index, what will be, how much hair you will have, when will you start losing your hair, etc., etc. So it changes from person to person. Some people are born with a strong heart, some people are born with a weak heart, some people have a weak digestion when they are born, some people, are able to digest everything, etc., etc. So yes, all this is encoded in a molecule which is called the DNA. Now, what Master is saying is, think of a supreme intelligence that is able to package so much information naturally into just a molecule. Just think about it. How much intelligence? What, we think of architects, but now think of a super architect who can design something so complex. In previous sutras, we had talked about the complexity of the human body. Now, something as complicated as that, the creator has put the blueprint into just a simple molecule. Imagine the sophistication, imagine the intelligence, imagine the power. Okay, let's read on. A beautiful rose is made of only 4 physical ingredients. I'm only seeing 3 of you, but none of you have the book in front of you. I hope you have the book with you. Now, book rakhiye, you should read with me. You have to, yes, thank you for showing your book. Yeah, it's good to have the book and read with me. A beautiful rose. Now, this is a beautiful sutra. You remember, I keep saying the word sutra instead of using paragraph or stanza or something like that. Why? Because the word sutra implies कि इसमें wisdom is tightly condensed, very tightly packed. You have to make an effort to derive all the wisdom, all the knowledge. And that is what we are trying to do. So, a beautiful rose is made of only four physical ingredients: A, water; B, trace minerals. Trace minerals means, when the rose will grow in soil, so it doesn't absorb the soil, it only absorbs small quantities of minerals from the soil. You see, if you put it in a pot, the soil in the pot is not reducing. The plant is not eating up the soil. It is only taking in small chemicals, or what master is called trace. Trace, the word trace means it is in very small quantity. Trace minerals, air and sunlight. Of course, master has not talked about prana, but as pranic healers, we know prana is also involved. Correct? And of course, the seed is involved. Now, pay attention to this. Only God can make something so complex, so beautiful with just these four physical ingredients. Scientists, even if given trillions of US dollars, will not be able to produce a rose just with these four physical ingredients. Think about it. What master is saying is, you understand trillion? So there is thousand, thousand, thousand becomes million, thousand million becomes billion, thousand billion becomes trillion. So this is 10 to the power of, I think, 12. So 1 followed by 12 zeros. Master says that many dollars you give to the top scientists in the world, and you say, okay, you have all the chemicals available to you. Create a rose and give to me. They can still not do that. So think how a rose is produced naturally, and you can see, even if you and I don't plant it, roses grow in the wild by itself. मतलब अपने आप से उगते हैं, कहीं उसको आप नहीं भी उगाएंगे तो भी अपने आप से भी उगते हैं. So think of how much, how powerful, or how creative the creator is. There is no comparison with human capability. All right, the next sutra. The flowers, the fruits, the plants, and the trees are produced with these four physical ingredients. The four that were mentioned on the previous page. To produce chemicals, you need chemical factories, chemists, and chemical engineers. I hope you know Master himself, Master Choa himself, in his education was a chemical engineer. Many of the biochemicals in the flowers, in the fruits, in the plants, and in the trees cannot be reproduced by the biochemists and the chemical engineers. So they are so complex that humans are unable to reproduce them in the lab. Some of them are reproduced and they go into our medications, especially, the steroids and so on. But not all of them. Not everything is reproduced in, artificially by humans. Yet, a plant or a tree which is not managed and controlled by biochemists and chemical engineers, and which is much smaller than a chemical factory, produces them. Just think about this, meditate on it. No person, no, I mean, it requires nothing. The seed drops into the soil, rainfall happens, the tree grows by itself. All these forests, you think somebody has gone and planted them? No, nobody has planted. They have just grown. अपने आप से उगते हैं. They are self-growing, self-managing, self-sustaining. You see, this is one of the problems in our modern human society. Unfortunately, I come across children, small children, who think that all food comes in packets. They sort of believe that everything has to be produced. They have lost touch with nature so much that, it is a little scary actually. What humans are we producing that they do not understand nature? And that is why we are so vicious on nature. That is why we are so abusive of nature. Okay, because somehow we have this sense of omnipotency that yes, we humans, we can create everything. We cannot create everything. You see, I'll give you one facet of nature versus what humans produce. Think of anything that humans produce. Anything. I leave it to you. You give me an example. Anything that humans produce that does not have waste generated, that doesn't have a harmful side effect. Think about it. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है जो हम ह्यूमंस बनाते हैं जिससे कुछ वेस्ट नहीं जनरेट होती हो, जिसकी डिस्पोजल की प्रॉब्लम होती हो, जिससे एनवायरनमेंट पे असर पड़ता हो, एंड विच कैनॉट बी रीयूज्ड और विच इज हार्ड टू रीयूज. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? नाउ थिंक अबाउट नेचर. इन नेचर whatever exists, I mean, of course, it's natural, but it has no. You cannot think of waste being associated with that. You cannot think of a harmful side effect of that as long as it is in the right place. I mean, you grow a tree in the middle of a room, obviously, it will in the end damage the walls and the floor. I'm not talking about that. But nature in its natural form has nothing. Everything is consumed in some way or the other. It is useful in some way or the other. एक पूरी इकोसिस्टम है where everything, every element, every component is useful in some way or the other. There is no waste. Nothing is wasted. And everything is a part of its own balance. One guru who's very popular these days, he said a very interesting thing. He said that if I'm paraphrasing, हो सकता है मेरे words exactly वो नहीं हो, I may be missing out on the exact words, but something like this. He said, you take any one insect and you kill that insect. In a few months or years, all life on earth will stop. So for example, the bee, you take the bee, or you take, these insects which do pollination. Correct? If you wipe them out, all life on the planet will end. Or at least all human life will come to an end. But if all human life were to end from this planet, all other forms of life will flourish. Think about it. It's a sort of wake-up call for human beings. For all of us, it is a wake-up call. Are we fitting into the world, or have we become viruses who are taking over the world and damaging it? I'm sorry, I'm a little passionate about the environment, so it is difficult for me to stop. लेकिन ये सोचने की, we need to think about this. What is going on? Anyway, let's go on. Now, Master says, truly God is omni-intelligent. Truly God is omnipotent. Nature is God's factory. To see nature is to see the creation of God. The existence of God is self-evident. Just a little bit about the word omni. It had come earlier also, and I had said we will talk about it later. So the word omni, Master says omnipotent. Omnipotent means infinitely powerful. The word omni means infinite. So, or all, matlab, यानी with no limitation, infinite. So omni-intelligent. infinitely intelligent. Omnipotent, infinitely powerful. Potency means power. Why the word omni? Now, according to Master Choa, he talks about it in one of his videos. The word omni is derived from om, or it is closely associated with om. And I hope most of us are familiar with om, the sound of creation. Now, the thing about this word om is that it is not, it is closely associated with God. और देखिए इसमें दो बातें होती हैं. One is that you say it is symbolic of God, but according to many philosophers, especially our Indian philosophers, no, it is not symbolic of God, it is God. And later we will come across a sutra where master will say, or he will repeat a saying which says, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So the word om in the Indian system means God. Now, the word omni means God-like or of God. And the another meaning of the word is infinite. Now, let me also give you food for thought. Only God can be infinite. Everything else is finite. Everything has a limitation. It has a beginning, it has an end. हर चीज सीमित है, उसकी सीमा है, कहीं से शुरू होती है, कहीं खत्म होती है. But only God is limitless, infinite, no beginning, no end. All right. So, shall we try to internalize this last few lines? So, may I request just sit with your eyes closed as I will repeat these with a slower pace. आप भी उसको बोलिए and just think about it. All right. So, just close your eyes. Try to keep your spine straight. Truly, God is omni-intelligent. Truly, God is omnipotent. Nature is God's factory. To see nature is to see the creation of God. To see nature is to see the creation of God. Nature is God's factory. To see nature is to see the creation of God. The existence of God is self-evident. Imagine you are in a nice, beautiful forest. As you walk through the forest, notice the incredible beauty, the incredible diversity, the powerful forms of life in the plants, in the trees. Notice the beautiful scents, fragrances. To see nature is to see the creation of God. The existence of God is self-evident. Just be still, be aware, just relax. If nature is the creation of God, it would be good for us to respect nature, to learn to live with nature. Everything in nature is there to help us. But it is wise of us to learn to coexist with it. Let us resolve, make a promise to be more respectful of nature, of the environment, of all other forms of life around us. We will end the session here. We will do the group healing after this. Just stay with your eyes closed.